Here are 10 of Naval Ravikant's genius insights for life and common traps that you may avoid. That honestly, I wish my father told me. I'm Jordan, made over $5 million, hired 50 people, and here's why life feels hard.
I don't think life is that hard. I think we make it hard. We spend too much time. One of the things I'm trying to get rid of is the word should. Whenever the word should creeps up in your mind, that's guilt or social programming. And so just doing something because you should do it basically means that you don't actually want to do it. It's just making you miserable. So I'm trying to eliminate as many shoulds from my life as possible.
The path to misery is paved with endless shoulds, but life becomes lighter the moment you delete should from your vocabulary. So let that be the premise for this video. And may you question all the shoulds that you hear from me or Naval, and anyone for that sake. But then what if you hurt other people when you no longer do what they think you should?
If you hurt other people because they have expectations of you, that's their problem. If they have an agreement with you, it's your problem. But if they have an expectation of you, that's completely their problem. It has nothing to do with you. And they're going to have lots of expectations out of life. The sooner you can dash their expectations, the better.
Being disliked for being yourself beats being loved as a pretender. And the weight of others' expectations is theirs to carry. Just like I disappointed my parents back then when I quit my job and dropped out of university to grow my business to $5 million in revenue. But then how do you avoid getting angry with the people in your life who have conflicting expectations?
How to manage anger? It is to observe that when you're angry, what is anger? Anger is a loss of control over the situation. And it is a contract that you're making with yourself that you're going to literally be in physical and mental and emotional turmoil. And you're going to signal that as strongly as you can to the other party. So there's until they get it, until they get that you're capable of violence. So anger is a precursor to violence. There's a Buddhist saying that anger is a hot coal that you hold in your hand while you're waiting to throw it at somebody. And I think that's a great visual image because it essentially burns you. So I think the way to deal with anger is to do it selfishly, to realize the damage that it's causing you. And when you become aware of the damage and the misery and the pain and the suffering and the wasted moments that anger causes you, you'll stop being angry. Or you'll learn to just be less angry because you don't want to hurt yourself.
Absolutely true. 3 truths here. When you look back at your own anger and the suffering that it caused you, then you have the chance to realize that being angry the next time is no longer needed or wanted. And anger itself is a loss of control and a contract you make with yourself to be in a physical and emotional turmoil and to signal as strongly as you possibly can to the other party so that they get it. You are capable of violence. And that's why anger is a precursor to violence, like Naval said. And holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. But you are the one who gets burned. That's a quote from Buddha. But then how do you deal with angry or stressful people in your family, life, or work?
How do I deal with difficult people that you have to work with? Well, I'm lucky in that these days I generally tend to walk away from them. If I have to and I have no choice, you suffer through it, but I try and change that situation as quickly as possible.
Time spent with difficult people is a tax that you choose to pay. But peace isn't the absence of difficult people in your life, it's the distance from them. Even more so, I would say, the distance from your thoughts. But then you may ask, Jordan, the people around me have a lot of impact on how I feel, right? So then what do you look for in the people around you, in your girlfriend, in your friends?
What I look for in people, in business, is intelligence, energy, and integrity. In relationships, it's probably, honesty, which is, I guess, integrity again, intelligence again. I guess the energy matters less in relationships. In relationships, I think, I like people who are calm, who have good emotional self-control.
So look for a psychologist. By the way, I write a weekly 2-minute email about truths that I find in my own life and business. It's free, but only for serious people. We'll put a link below somewhere where you can also access the free Google Sheet with 80 plus free tools that I use in my business, but also in my personal life to save a lot of time. Again, all free, no affiliate stuff. Anyways, I would argue that it is more effective to be calm and meditative yourself first.
I do like to be very meditative, and what that means is when I'm alone by myself or I'm walking in nature, then I'm generally going to try and be very present and watch my thoughts.
Being meditative over meditation. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer. You've heard that before, right? But what if you don't see this yet?
Do you have any practical tips for removing your sense of identity? If I had those, I would have done it already with myself. I think it is literally one little layer at a time. It's just observing yourself.
Just observing yourself. To me, that has always sounded vague and still does to some extent. But if you are interested in it, just like me, then watch this video where Naval shares 12 incredible insights on enlightenment and maybe more peace in your life. Watch it here or not. Talk soon.